live from the Dunkin' Latte Lounge.
All right, we want to welcome you to the Dunkin' Latte Lounge today. I'm Wendy Wild, so excited to have the one and only Adam Lambert.
Hi.
Thank you
Hello.
so much.
Long time no see, all of you.
So we're here for this intimate conversation, and we're celebrating High Drama, your brand new album, which is all covers.
Yeah.
All covers. Now, I was actually asking the crowd some of their favorite tracks, and we heard, you said Sex on Fire.
Ooh, yes.
I personally love West Coast.
Thank you.
I think it's amazing, but what was it like to do covers, your first ever cover album?
It was really fun. You know, I obviously I did a bunch of covers on Idol. That's what the show is. And then I got such a great response for the Cher Kennedy Center performance of Believe for Cher. That was just we've gotten such great feedback on that the idea kind of came from there. Why not just do an album sort of in that same vein of taking songs and completely reinventing them?
So I was going to say, did you find this to be an easier approach, or was it a little bit more challenging, doing the different arrangements? And
it's totally different because obviously you're working with songs that you know are good songs. You know that people know them. That takes a lot of that process out because songwriting is its own beast. But the creative part for me was like getting to change them. That was an interesting challenge. That was what I was really excited about.
And were you nervous at all that maybe the original artist would have some say in changing up their original work?
You actually don't need permission unless you rewrite like the composition of the song. So, the copyright or the publishing is like the words and like the major melody of the song and the structure. But you can do new arrangements. You can interpret a melody. You can do that without asking any permission, apparently.
That is news to me.
Yeah.
So how does it work? You just have to pay the royalties, or we're getting very technical here. But what's the process like? You
Well,
just
I
decide what
didn't
song to
pay.
do?
I think the record. I had a record label do it. Thank God.
I did not phrase that properly. But I'm just saying, anybody can just do it. Like, what's the process like?
Yeah, you can. But you can't change the words. You can change pronouns, apparently. I think if you're covering a song and you want to tailor it to a certain gender or all of the genders.
Because we're inclusive here.
Yeah, exactly. So you can do that, but you can't change the song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, have you heard from any of the artists, like Sia or Boy George?
Well, Boy George is a friend of mine, and so when I came up with this version of the song, because we changed it around so much, we changed around the structure of it, where we put what used to be the intro of the song is now in the middle, it's the bridge, and what used to be the chorus is now the verse, and so we did a bunch of things. So we did technically need his permission, and I know him, so I waited to finish it before we got in touch with him. And I was a little apprehensive because he's a friend, so I was like, God, I hope he doesn't hate it. Because what if he hates it, and then what if he doesn't want to tell me that he hates it? Or it's Boy George, he probably will tell me that he hates it because he's so open and honest. And he liked it. So I was very relieved. And he said, yeah, sure, I love it. I love what you did with it. So
that is amazing. Now, I can't even imagine what it's like because it's just such an eclectic mix. It honestly looks like a lot of my iHeart playlist because it's all over the freaking place. But how did you narrow it down, which songs you were going to include on High Drama?
Well, there was like a criteria. I was like, okay, they have to be songs that I know I can totally do something new with, or else what's the point? This isn't a karaoke bar, I want to do something artistic. And they also had to be songs that I felt I could relate to, that could have been written about my own life, so that I could find some authentic connection to the story. And I think track listing wise, I kind of want, I like the element of surprise. I like, piquing interest, and I wanted people to look at the track list and go, oh, interesting,
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, there's a deep cut on there, like the Pink song.
Yeah.
That's definitely not one that we actually played on K2U.
Yeah.
But it's such a great song, and you did a wonderful version of it.
Thank you.
And Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, honestly, your voice is so different from hers. But it still works because she has that very soft-spoken kind of way about her, and you
I'm not
more
so
powerful.
soft-spoken, yeah. Not
And
quite
drama.
the way you describe me, yeah. It's interesting because obviously there's songs on there that are really well known, but I thought that would be really interesting to mix it up and have some obscure stuff on there too. I mean, as an artist, that's the fun part, is like, you know, getting to pull something out that maybe people might not be that familiar with, and maybe showing them something new, a new song that they haven't heard before. You know, I'm a Man is another very obscure song.
Had to look that one up.
Yeah, and I love how that turned out as well. So yeah,
it's beautiful. Now, just going back a little bit, because right before the pandemic hit, you had come out with an original album.
Mm-hmm.
Is, you know, the fact that you all of a sudden had to stop everything and not really promote it and not tour.
It died. Yeah, it died on the vine. It's
peace.
you know, I love Velvet.
It's
I
still
love
there.
it. It's still there. It's still a great
there.
album, but the whole campaign and touring, everything about it had to be put to rest, which is very sad. But it was the pandemic. Everybody had to. Everyone had to put things to rest. So, yeah, I was a little depressed for a few weeks. I was like, oh, I'm so excited. I was supposed to go on tour with Christina Aguilera.
Shut up.
You know that? I was like,
You guys
would have
knew
been,
that?
That would have been so cool.
Sick.
Would have been so cool.
Listen, there's still opportunities. I mean, did that?
Well, I think at this point, I think I would have to put a Spanish album out if that was going to happen. But
listen, you could do anything you want. But did that inspire you to just try to push some music out sooner for the fans?
Well, it actually inspired me to take the time to, you know, knowing that I was kind of bummed about Velvet sort of being done. You know, the idea was, when you're sitting around bored and you're a creative person, you need to be creative. So I started working on a musical, actually. And it was an idea that had kind of, the seed had been planted about 6 months before. And I had talked to some people, and we were circling the project. And so we kind of fast-tracked it and started working with different producers and songwriters via Zoom. So the whole thing was written from my office, you know, with other people, which is not the same as being in the same room. It's very different. But it was really, once I got used to it, it was really productive. And I have pretty much a score for a whole musical done. Wow. There's still some, you know, fine tuning that needs to be done. Now the script is being developed by a New York playwright who's pretty successful, and we have it's a big process doing a musical. You know, I have lots of people on the creative team that are incredible, but it's a slower timeline than putting out an album. So I'm continuing to work on that. That's still in the works, and that's sort of why High Drama happened, because I thought, well, I want to put some music out, you know, and I got done with the Queen tour last summer in Europe and the UK, and it was like, okay, let's get in the studio and pump this thing out in like 2 months, which was amazing, which was very fast for putting a whole album out, but that's why pre-written songs that we all like, that's what makes it an easy process, because you're like, oh, okay, well, that song, yeah, I know what it is, I know how it goes.
I know the words.
Yeah, I know, yeah,
once.
Exactly. So, yeah, it was really fun.
So going back to this musical, because I heard you talking about this on the Zach Sang podcast. Mm-hmm. Do you have a plot? Like, can we know about it? I'm so curious about this. And is it something that you might star in yourself?
There is a plot, yes. Yeah.
Why'd they ask me to do this?
There's a plot. Yeah, I'm still not ready to fully like reveal what it is yet. I want that to be like properly like fanfare. But it is based on a true story, and it takes place in the 70s in New York City. It's very glam and queer and all the things that I love. And it's yes, there's a plot. There's a story.
I hope so.
It's based on somebody, and it'll most likely be a concept album first before it's a stage production. So it will be an album of mine.
Ready to adapt.
Yes, correct. That's the plan.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I love all the representation too.
Yeah, it's important to me. It's become like increasingly important to me. I just think knowing sort of how much change the music industry has gone through in the past 13 years, it's exciting. And there's a lot of amazing things going on right now. There's queer representation in the music world that in a way that it never has been.
Look at Sam Smith and Kim Petras.
And Kim Petras, Lil Nas X. I mean, there's a ton of artists that I love. And
Isn't it weird? Like just only a few years ago, it was completely different.
Well, when I got done with American Idol and I was first putting out music, it was like there weren't any gay guys. There was like Elton John and like George Michael and things like that, but nobody
talked about
none of my contemporaries, no one doing the pop music circuit, nobody playing, the radio game and all that. There just wasn't. And so it was like, at the time, it was very niche. It was like an underground, like indie kind of thing, right? And so to see it kind of move into a mainstream place where everyone feels like they're represented now in music is really good.
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
And you helped pave the way for that.
I was part of a wave, yes. I'm not going to take any credit, but it's nice to know that point, 2009 and 2010, like that was a real turning point for a lot of things. I mean, marriage equality was sort of getting its momentum, and there were a lot of issues that were being brought to light. You saw a lot more stories of queer people, on movie screens and television screens, and it was picking up pace. So that was, the attitudes, I think, publicly were shifting. Prior to that, I think you had a lot of like gatekeepers that were running the entertainment industry that were nervous about that type of material because they were nervous it would alienate their audiences, which would end up making something not as successful.
Listen,
right?
there is room for everyone.
Yeah.
There's room for everyone in the music biz, in
Now,
any business.
yes, now, yeah,
And I'm
which is
glad
great.
people are starting to see that.
Yeah, me too.
But going back to Queen for a second,
Yeah.
because I mean, like, that was over a decade you spent as their frontman, and that's crazy to me, just thinking about how much time has passed. And Brian May obviously like loves you so much because he
Aw.
wrote this really nice blog about your new album. And
Yeah, he's sweet.
by the way, how do you refer to him? Is it Dr. Sir or Sir
I just-
Doctor? He's
I mean,
an astrophysicist. Like,
Technically, sir, but I call him Brian.
Brian,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, but
Brian.
yeah, he's a sir now. Yeah, yeah.
now, does it feel familiar or different? Like when you were touring with Queen and doing their songs, did it feel like covers to you, or?
Well, it's not like this cover album is different because it's completely reworked, but with them, it's like the way that they've always played the song. So it's more like I'm a guest, in their world. And I love being on stage with Brian and Roger because they light up, they're like, this is their legacy. This is their thing, and there's so much nostalgia tied to it. So I love getting up on stage and singing, and I've always been careful to sort of like toe the line between making it my own, but still paying respect and staying within a framework of the original, But I don't imitate Freddie. I try to just kind of think about his spirit, I try to think about how he, like his intention, as opposed to like mimicking the sound.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Like you've really found your own. And
Thank you. And we're not done.
Oh no, we're always a work in progress.
We
here.
are not done. Queen and I are not finished. It is not over.
Oh yes.
No.
I was going to ask you next about touring. Are you going to be touring this album? Are you doing some local shows? Are you? Wait, y'all want to know, don't you? Y'all want to know. He's keeping quiet about this one.
There's some shows that have been booked now, so it's like we'll see how it all kind of comes together. It's all happening like as we're speaking. So there's a show in London that just got announced at the Royal Albert Hall. There's some shows over the summer. Keep your ears and eyes peeled. There's some more being announced. Finland. I'm going to a festival in Finland.
The happiest place ever.
Yes, I love Finland. Yeah. Well, I have an ex from there, so I love Finland.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, this is unrelated, but I
Okay.
wanted to get your take on this.
Okay.
Have you heard about TikTok killing the bridge?
What?
This is a very technical question.
No. What do you mean? What is
So
that?
apparently TikTok music, like I guess people want their music, they want it fast. They've completely eliminated the bridge of songs.
Oh yeah, because it's like quick bites, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Would you take that into account when you write new music? Yeah.
No.
Good for you.
No, but I get it. Like I get that the art form and sort of the way that people are digesting music is evolving. I think that's great. I mean, the fact that songs like from years ago are getting like these second wins, that's really cool.
Yeah, now they're fast, now they're slow.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, there's like so much creativity on TikTok, so I love that.
And if someone were to rework one of your songs, whether it be on TikTok, speeding it up, slowing it down, or just covering it all together.
I'm very flattered, always. I mean, that was, someone asked me, like, are you worried about what these artists are going to think of these songs? And I'm like, I'm not worried, because I think that when you cover a song, it's a compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, all the songs on High Drama are songs that I think these artists killed. They did such a good job with them. And they're brilliant artists, so that's why I wanted to cover them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's another question for you. I mean, do you ever forget your own lyrics?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
These are the things I wonder about because
Oh, yeah.
there's so many words.
Plenty. I'm not, because I'm always thinking about 100 things at the same time. Like my brain is always like, I'm thinking about how it sounds, how it feels. I'm like looking at someone's outfit in the front row. I'm like thinking about like do I need more tea on stage? Like, why is that light so bright?
Wow.
I need to hear more guitar. There's like always a zillion things in my head. So sometimes the words, I'm like, oh right, I have to sing.
Hey, like, at least the notes are always there though. Your voice like shines. Like I was just watching.
I'm going to tell you a
America's Got
secret. I'm
Talent.
going to tell you a big secret. I do have the lyrics on stage. And this is not, I'm not like cheating. I'm not like most artists do that now, from what I've been told.
I saw it.
So yeah, I have a teleprompter.
Yeah. I saw behind the scenes at a K2 Euphoria once, and I was like, there's a teleprompter. That's
Except when it doesn't work, and then you're like,
Oh my goodness. Well, you sound amazing at every appearance, part of this press tour. I'm so happy you were able to sit down with me today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything.
My
And
pleasure.
We're going to be looking out for all the things. In fact, a movie coming out, right, which just debuted at Sundance.
Yeah, Fairyland, yeah.
So I don't know when that's going to be available to the public.
I play a very jolly leather daddy.
I love that you were going back to those theater roots.
Actually, Cocaine Bear, the movie, that's actually the kind of how you describe my character in the movie. So,
At least
Cocaine
it's
Bear,
not
yeah.
Meth Gator.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one more question before we go. I'm
Yes,
so sorry.
please. I love questions. Let's do more questions.
I know, and I promise I'm done.
Okay.
But, we're in the Dunkin' Latte Lounge here. If you could have a latte with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Freddie. I mean, I think I would want to spike my latte if I was sitting down with Freddie, but yeah, I would. Yeah, I definitely would love. I always wonder, the dead or alive question. Who would you want to talk to? And it's like, obviously, like at this point, I owe so much to Freddie and what he left behind, his legacy, his songs, his joy, his artistry. Like it's made such a huge impact on my career. So I owe him a lot. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And a latte. I would owe him a latte.
Adam Lambert, everybody. Thank you so much.
To see more videos like this, check out DunkinLatteLounge.com. And if you're posting on social, use the hashtag DunkinLatteLounge.